Hi, my name is Amara Graham, Developer Advocate at Kestra. Today, I want to walk through my demo where I used Notion to do a little bit of automation. I was thinking of a good scenario that would be kind of enterprise friendly, but also show off our Notion plugins. So I went with a vulnerability scanner checker. We'll get into that in just a second. But to start, let me talk about the pieces that I pulled together. So switching up my screen here, if you're not familiar with Notion, we at Kestra actually use it kind of as our knowledge base. So we have docs that we're working on and collaborating on. We have tables that show project status, kind of like a Kanban board. But I have their page open where it kind of walks through the wiki elements. So again, if you're not familiar with Notion, you're basically working with pages that you can add some amount of content to. So with this idea, I decided, you know, if I could use it as our knowledge base, create a database or a table and store some information in there that would kind of show the benefits of kind of pulling all of these different things together. So we have two Notion plugins, one for pages and one for databases, and I kind of hinted at this a little bit earlier. The way that Notion works is everything is kind of a page, at least from the way that we use it, and you can create new pages, read, update, archive these pages with our plugin. We also have the concept of a database, and the database is quite interesting. It's what I used or primarily used in my example, but this database looks a lot like a table, and we'll check that out in just a second. But the idea here with our Notion database plugin is we can create items, delete items, query, update, or even update the specific item. Every item that gets added to this database can then be turned into a page. So I'll actually use both of the plugins, the database and the page plugin, to show adding an item to the database and then adding some additional content to that page. So hopefully this gives you an idea of how you can work with these plugins. So I mentioned the demo that I wanted to do was a little bit enterprise friendly. For me, as a former enterprise developer, vulnerabilities were kind of top of mind to me. They come in at kind of a rate that you can't really expect. You need to respond to them quite urgently. And I think they kind of fit in the Kestra landscape quite well. You want to be able to tie into multiple tools, multiple systems, send notifications, add to your knowledge base to understand, have you seen the vulnerability, reviewed it, triaged it, and mitigated it if necessary. So I went out to a site that I know I can see vulnerabilities and found a page on known exploited vulnerabilities. So this is going to be a subset of all of the CVEs, ones that are actually known to be exploited. So I thought this was really cool because I can get this KEV catalog in a couple of different formats. I went with JSON, but they also have an example of what things look like in that JSON object that we'll be working with. So you can see they have a date added, a due date, so like when you should hopefully have this mitigated or understand if you're vulnerable to this. And then it also has some information about actions that you should take, notes, things like that. So with this concept, I said, okay, I have some information here, but one of the really challenging things with CVEs is, again, they come in quite randomly. They can be quite a hot topic in the sense that you need to respond to them quite quickly as the developer who is either leading the project or working on a subset of the vulnerable products. So what I wanted to do is run this through AI to hopefully give us a little bit more information about what we're seeing here. Can it put it into guidance of, do we need to mitigate this now? Which the answer for these, because they're known exploits, is probably yes. And then putting together an action plan. We do get some of that information in the CVEs, but the quality and the guidance can be a little bit all over the place. So let's pop into Kestra and look at our flow code. My screen is quite large, but to make sure that you can see it, I've blown it up so hopefully that you can read the text there. But this goes through some of the elements that I've used in my other demos. So I want this to run daily, probably overnight. You may have not seen, but there's about 1,500 CVEs in this JSON that's coming back. So going through and iterating through all of that can be quite a lengthy process. And one of the things that I went back and forth on was, do I just want to check up until the point of, hey, this is a known CVE? Do I want to kind of mimic a scenario where there might be updates to those CVEs? And so reading through the entire object or set of objects is really important. Those are things that you can think about if you're designing something similar, but I'll talk through what I did and maybe the design choices that I would make in the future or the refinements that I would make if I keep building out this demo. So like I mentioned, I want this to run daily. It runs between 20 and 45 minutes. Keen eyes may notice I'm running Enterprise Edition locally on my machine. So some of that depends on what else I'm doing there that can dramatically shift how long this takes. I did end up adding a SLA with a max duration. So this is set that if this workflow runs for longer than an hour when it executes, it actually cancels the execution. And this actually happened once while I was building out this demo. Let's pop over to executions and take a look at this. And you can see what that looks like here. It adds some labels, it adds the state of canceled, and gave me an indicator that like something wasn't quite right. And I realized at this point I had left in a lot of log statements, so it was doing a lot of extra work in my workflow that I didn't really need it doing. So I did a little bit of refinement, and then you can see here I later ran this a couple days later and got it back down to 32 minutes. But the SLA feature with this duration exceeded is quite interesting if you're trying to monitor how long things run. So getting into the tasks, this is where you can see I'm working with the KV store quite a bit, where I wanted to have a way within Kestra to be able to search through those CVEs. So you'll see that quite a bit throughout this flow code. You see that I'm requesting the JSON through an HTTP request there, and then I'm iterating, like I mentioned, with a for each through each of those vulnerabilities that come back. I played around a little bit with the concurrency limit here. So I had set it to 2 or 3 and then kind of played around with, oh, what about 5 or 10? I wasn't trying to crash Kester or crash my computer, so I settled on 5. I think that's a pretty good number for this use case and running locally on my machine. But that's something to play around with and definitely check out in the docs what you should set your concurrency limit if you're doing something similar. So, like I mentioned, I'm iterating through all of these vulnerabilities and then I want to do something. So, in this case, I want to check if this is a known value, if we have this CVE ID in our key value store already, and then if we don't, creating a new one. So, you can see some of that logic here as I'm scrolling down. I mentioned that I wanted to pipe the response or the CVE content into an AI tool. So I chose Gemini because that was the easiest one for me to work with. In this case, you can choose AI tool of your choice. But the idea here is I wanted to give it some information and help me prioritize the CVE. Is it high, medium, or low? Determine if we needed to mitigate this now or if it's something that we could wait. I would also recommend telling AI what tools you use or don't use. So there's a lot of products that are covered in this JSON object that comes back. And not every organization is going to use everything. So right off the bat, you can say, oh, we're not vulnerable to this because we don't use Google Dawn, for example. Or you may be heavily invested in the Google ecosystem and you need to review all of those more thoroughly. So that's something that you could potentially pass into your prompt. But what I really want to touch on is this JSON response schema. So this is what I am telling the AI tool that I'm using, what I want it to respond back with. So I want it to give me a priority, so that high, medium, low. I want it to tell me in a Boolean, do I need to mitigate this now or not? And then I want to have an action plan that's a string as well. So this is going to then help me build out what I have in Notion in my Notion database and be able to set those fields so that it can accept this response. So as I keep scrolling here, this is where we get into the Notion piece. So I want to create an item. And again, creating an item in a database, you're going to see it in just a second. It's basically just like adding a row to a table. It's very visual, it's very nice. But where you needed to kind of go and dig into the Notion API is when we start sending these properties. So I want to be able to capture the CVE ID in my table. I want to be able to capture the priority, whether I'm mitigating this now or the action plan, those responses that are coming back from AI. And I want to do it in a way that's kind of human readable, right? The other thing that I wanted to play around with was I've added a row to the table so I can see it in my database, but then I also want to enrich the individual pages to give someone who's reviewing this the ability to write, is this exploitable or not in the configuration that they have it or in the installation that they have it in, and what are the steps. Maybe there's meeting notes, maybe they need to do some additional triage. They're probably going to do that within the page, or at least that's kind of similar to our working style at Kestra. Then from there, I want to be able to update the database description to say, when did this run and how many CVEs are coming back. Again, this kind of gives me the ability to have different personas potentially using this. If you come and you log into Kestra, you'll be able to see the execution information. You'll be able to even read through the logs if that's something that's interesting to you. But if it's a user that maybe doesn't feel comfortable logging into Kestra or doesn't want to see the execution details at that level, maybe they just want to work directly within Notion and they can do that. I also wanted to add in a plugin default for working with Notion. So this covers both the database and the page plugin because both of them are going to require an API token. And while both of them don't necessarily need a database ID, I went ahead and added that too. So it gives me one place where I can work with these values rather than having them in multiple places in my workflow. So I'm not going to run this because like I mentioned, it does take a bit of time, but let me switch over here to full screen, pop myself out, and we can take a look at what this looks like within Notion. So hopefully this sounds a bit familiar to what I was just describing. We have a database description, or I guess I should take a step back and say you are looking at a database in Notion. It's called CVE Tracker, and it looks a lot like a table. And in the description, we have the total CVEs and that last run. We can kind of play around with that date timestamp if we wanted to, but that looks good to me. And then we see a item or a row for each of the vulnerabilities. You'll notice that there's not 1,559 CVEs in this list because what I wanted to capture was you scan it through one time, and then every time after that, you want to capture the new vulnerabilities. So this is kind of setting up a scenario where you say, we've mitigated those or we have a process that's handled them in the past. Now we want to move forward with a smaller subset. So this is the values that have run since I've been working on this demo, maybe the last like 4 or 5 days, ones that have come in within that time frame. So you can see here, and again, this kind of depends on the data that we're working with. These are known exploited vulnerabilities, so kind of like the most urgent ones. So you shouldn't be surprised here to see that the priority is high, and for the most part, the mitigate now is checked as like this is something that's urgent. Same thing with the action plan. You see immediately pretty much in every single one of those boxes. But it's a little bit more enriched from the information that we saw directly on the CVE itself. So I mentioned that with a Notion database, you're adding items and then those items can become pages. So if I open this one, for example, you can see that with the Notion page plugin, I went ahead and added some additional content here. And again, this is the idea where the team could take over from this point, work directly in Notion. They wouldn't have to go out to Kestra. They wouldn't have to go out to a CVE site directly. They have everything that they need to be able to take action on that particular CVE and leave the details of what they're doing there. So, my hope is that this gives you an idea of how to work with Kestra, Notion, an AI tool like Gemini, and build something end to end that incorporates, a real life scenario. Again, what would I do different or what would I do beyond this point? I mentioned some of them throughout the video. So, one of the things that I would think about is iterating through the list up until the point where I see the first known vulnerability. Some of that comes from my experience of working with this and seeing that all new vulnerabilities are added to the top of the object that comes back. So you can iterate to a point and I think get this to run faster. The other thing that I would do is set up alerting, monitoring, things like that. I could send a Slack message if a new one is discovered with that exact information, send a link to the Notion database or the individual Notion page. Those are things that kind of make this even more realistic. For us, the way that we use Notion and the way that I have my notifications set up, I would actually be able to kind of watch this page in a way that I could get an email notification kind of for free without having to configure that. So that's also an option too, is use the tools in the way that they're already designed and then not having to like over engineer something in your orchestration workflow. So again, I hope this gives you ideas of how to work with Kestra, Notion, and a AI tool like Gemini to build a enterprisey workflow and potentially tackle your vulnerabilities. Thanks for watching, and let me know if you use these. Take care.